Sarah's not. All right. Very good. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I call this meeting to order at 4:36 p.m. Justina, do you want to do attendance?
I'm here.
Yeah, you gotta go through the list and do attendance. We've been doing that wrong.
Ben,
You looking for me?
We're doing attendance. When Justina calls your name, say here.
Nick,
Here.
Red,
Here.
Chloe,
Here.
Eli,
Hi. Good to see everyone.
Cody,
Cody is excused.
Sarah,
I have not heard from Sarah, so far unexcused.
and Azucine.
Also unexcused. I haven't heard from. And Betty Jo is in the corner here as a guest. Is that you got everybody?
I think so.
Okay, that's what I had to. All right, I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from February 7th.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Going once, going twice. All right, oh my gracious, I just totally had a brain fail moment.
All in favor?
Oh, and
Sorry.
thank you, Nikki, thank you. It's been a day. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. The minutes have been approved. Reports. Constitution Committee. Sarah is not here. However, the things that we did talk about with the registered student organization officers, we are still currently working on that. We have not come to a close on that yet. That's still up for discussion in the Constitution Committee. Other than that, nothing to report. Ways and Means Committee.
Nothing.
Okay. Student trustee is not here. Student advisory council. Did I wait? Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm a little disorganized. Was that? I gave that report the last meeting, right? I think. Okay. So something we are doing, I will talk about it a little bit towards the end. But Student Advisory Council, right now we are working on Community Building Day. That's a big thing. And as I mentioned before, everything's gonna be based on basic needs security. So that's just a continuation of what SAC is doing. I just got off a meeting for that, but we didn't really get to go over much because there were quite a few people who were still not there. But we're currently right now looking for representatives from a state university and UMass. So we're just talking about the logistics of the virtual event. Student body liaison.
From the students, it's just been same old, same old.
Okay. Academic Senate, Cody's not here. Student Success Committee, Ren?
I missed the meeting for last month, so I'm still waiting to find out. when,
Okay,
Or for February.
okay, no worries. Academic Environment and Technologies? Nicole?
I
Our next
did-
meeting isn't until March 20th.
Okay.
Student
Right.
Success Committee, I did actually I put an attachment for the last minutes of their last meeting on the minutes for this last one.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Cause that one's the one with Bill, right? Yes, okay. Ready Ed Committee?
I was finally able to download the Android version. I absolutely loved it. It looks incredible. I did have some feedback, which I did email Jason about. A couple of things that I noticed is there's no accessibility option to change font or other types of accessibility, which would be really helpful on the first page instead of having to go search for it. I did let him know that it only gives you the option to view the page in English and no other language. And I also suggested a change to a few tiles. Currently, when you click on community resources, it comes up to a bunch of random different things in the college. And I suggested maybe putting the food pantry on that because that's currently under dining, maybe mental health service as well. And I suggested dining, putting the Green Street Craft Day hours, maybe the weekly menu and things like that.
Thank you. All College Forum. Azu's not here, but we met last week or 2 weeks ago. Marketing Committee, Justina?
I know we discussed making some posters and stuff for the food drive and things like that. So that's my next goal is to make some things for that.
Yeah, so we are gonna talk about that when we get to new business, because we're gonna need everybody on board for that. The retention plan liaison, Ben?
Yeah, so I did get to meet with Missy, and Missy sent me an update based on their current tentative timeline. There's quite a bit in here. I don't know how much time you would like to give me in order to go over this.
Like how long of a document are we talking?
Let's see, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Oh,
8,
wow.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points that I would go over.
Are they quick?
They're decently quick, like a paragraph each.
Yeah, so why don't we just attach it to the minutes? Can you just give us a brief, like, what is the next steps like that you guys are looking at?
Yeah, so I did quickly mention to them about how some students, myself and Nikki being included in this pool, receiving emails from financial aid saying that our next semester, for whatever reason, wasn't covered and that we had a bill due. Missy did say that she would look into that. And she also said that she would forward this to me as far as what their current, they did some focus groups throughout the fall and recorded everyone's feedback campus wide. And just as far as improving academic technology, improving the environment, improving success, and all that. So they conducted that. And that's basically the meat and bones of it. There is some dates in here, like on February 24th, they're doing an all-day retreat through Thrive. On March 2nd and 8th, they're going to do another focus group. There is, I think that's, there's more in here to go over, but that's like the very top level, just looking at it really quick.
Okay, thank you. Any other committees that I've missed? I don't think so, but I'm just checking. Leadership team, Jason?
Thank you. Sorry, I'm still a little bit under the weather, so my voice is a little rough. I just wanted to provide some updates from Nikki, the Ready Ed feedback. We are still having some issues with Android downloading. With some folks are getting firewalled at different parts of the download. And I really would like to avoid that when we launch it out to the community, because that's going to stop folks from downloading. Any kind of frustration with the download process is going to be harmful to adoption. So I have a call, I think Friday morning, with the IT folks at Ready Ed, so that we can kind of play through. I have some screenshots from people who were unsuccessful in downloading to see if we can't figure out what's going on. I have forwarded feedback that I've received from, I would say, 20 or so folks on the committee. So they're starting to make those changes. And what I'm going to do now is work with Emily at Ready Ed to set up a 2-week out call where our committee will all be on that call with Ready Ed to go over how they have addressed our concerns, and then do kind of a final walkthrough, which will be feedback and some final changes so that we can get working towards a launch date, knowing that we'll still be making corrections as we go. So that's really a positive thing. Thank you to Nikki and others who have really spent some time on that app and provided me with valuable feedback that has gone into the improvement of that. So definitely appreciate it. Other than that, I do have a bid for some new vending. So we're working on that. That vending includes healthy choice options. For those who were at All College Forum, you know that folks were concerned about vending options. And not only just, in terms of beverages, some healthy options, but also food healthy options. The vending company that we're looking at also has coffee vending machines, which has been feedback I've gotten from a lot of students, faculty, and staff, particularly after hours and on the Leominster campus where there is no food service. So we are in the process of setting a meeting up with those folks just to chat with them a little bit about what their options are. They're also promising new vending machines, which is something I'm very interested in. So we're working on that. I think those are my updates for today.
Thank you. And Justina, I just want to make a quick note. Jeremy did join at 4:47. Candace, do you have anything?
Not a probably the biggest thing, and I think I might have mentioned this, the faculty are putting together a year, so we have to what we want to teach for the summer, for the spring, and that's meant to sort of give students an idea of when classes may be offered. The other thing is, I don't know, it's sort of germinating, but there may be this was initially talked about at, there may be a shifting in sort of how students are advised. I was on the call with, oh my goodness, Sarah Williams today about sort of looking at how faculty are utilized when advising students from the first time they're on campus through sort of when they graduate. The only other thing is I want to offer my apologies to Nikki and to all of you actually, because I wasn't able to reach out to faculty like I wanted to for this past event. And I want to work with Nikki to come up, if that's okay that I'm calling you that, to get a better strategy of making sure that there's more involvement with the activities on campus when it comes to SGA and the faculty. So I just wanted to put that on the record.
Thank you. Um, so just quickly going over, some old business, the, Edward M. Kennedy Institute trip. I did get some feedback from Shelley. Let me just pull up the email real quick. So something that was mentioned is, like, because we talked about after the committee meeting, everybody who was there, we did talk about what this trip, like, kind of realistically, what the trip would be, like, the bus would be, like, kind of expensive, and also how many of us were actually gonna be able to go, you know, it wasn't really, we didn't think it was really gonna be worth it, necessarily for that week, but we were, I said that, you know, everybody was still interested, and I told Shelley, and, let me pull up the, you know, she was like, that's not a problem, but she had another idea. They are offering, they're not offering virtual tours. Wait. They are now, I can't read, I guess, they are now offering virtual tours, and those last about 90 minutes. And she wanted me to ask and see if that would be of interest to any of you. The date would be flexible. And I believe those would be free. But just, she wanted to know if that's something that would be of interest, and that the date we would have a little more leadway with that, because it's a virtual thing, and it's a 90-minute virtual tour of the Institute. What is everybody's thoughts on that? Any interest in that?
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, virtual meeting sounds really good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So what would you like me to say? Like, is there I'll let her know that people are interested, and then if you would like, you guys can email me at like any time or day that is a specific, like, this is something you would prefer to do it on, like, one of these days. You know, if you have a better day and time that works best for some of you, if you just let me know, and I'll forward that to Shelley once I have everybody's kind of time frame. I think there's like a thing, there's an app, I think it's called Doodle. And like, it's like a schedule thing. I don't know, I might look into that too, but if you guys want to just email me, like, if there's a specific day that works best for everybody. I know we talked about Fridays, but if there's any other days that you would prefer, just let me know, and I'll get back to Shelley and just let her know that we are still interested, and the virtual option does sound better. Very cool. Any other comments on that from you guys? Candace?
Wait, you've never heard of Doodle before?
No, I have. I've used it like twice.
Okay, you're making me nervous. I thought that was at this point if you hadn't heard of it.
No, I think Kathy used it once for the summer meetings for student government last year, and then I think SAC just used it too. And I've used it like at least twice.
I'm sorry.
I'm not tech savvy, Candace.
No, I was thinking the opposite. I had people tell me like of newer stuff that they were using. So I just figured that I was old school. So I wasn't picking on you by any means.
That's okay. We haven't gotten any new information on the part-time students, on the presidents and deans list. I can't even say that I've reached out or I've asked anybody else to reach out. We haven't really talked about that, because that's like a big project. So I'm not sure if we should set up like a, I don't know if a committee is necessarily, like, I don't know how we want to move forward with this. How would we want to move forward with this? I know, Nikki, this is something that you brought up. And so I was just kind of like wondering, like, what's everybody's thoughts on moving forward with it? Cause it is a big thing. It doesn't directly, it's not something the SGA can do necessarily by ourselves.
I think we should have more of a discussion about it. We kind of discussed a little bit and then tabled it. We really haven't had like a really good discussion on it. I mean, if we vote on it, everybody doesn't have to agree, but we just need like a majority vote. But I think we should have at least a little more discussion about it and like what direction we want it to go in.
So would we want to table it and then talk about it like last week we, at the committee meetings, we talked about a few things after the committee meetings. Would we want to table it to that? Is that something that everybody would be okay with and just talking about it there? All right, wonderful. So we'll do that and I'll put that on the list of things to talk about for next Tuesday. Jason? Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And Candace, I'm going to ask if you have a perspective to chime in here, but this is an academic policy, and I don't think Candace was here for the last discussion, which I did think was robust and solid, and folks were very, I think, were very honest in their conversations around their feelings. But Candace, this is a discussion that we had about deans and president's list, which is currently reserved for students who are in 12 credits or more, i.e. full-time, and the possibility of amending that designation to also be inclusive of part-time students, either by recognizing a part-time list, an 11 credits or lower, or creating an additional designation. But I have had this conversation with deans as a follow-up, just like you report out. I also report out to about SGA and what students are talking about. And I believe that this is academic policy, so something that may need to go before academic senate. Candace, what are your thoughts on that?
You're 100% right. I'm thinking it may even need to start in the curriculum committee, because what has happened is the curriculum committee takes on the academic policies, and I don't think a student sits on the curriculum committee. So if I'm remembering the process, who's the representative for Senate? They would ask to get on the agenda, and then I believe it would be sent to the curriculum committee, since it is a policy. And then the curriculum committee would report out to academic senate, if I'm remembering the policy correctly. Was that the question, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm encouraging our SGA representatives to do is to potentially get on the academic senate's schedule, like you mentioned, Candace, and put this matter in front of them for their attention so that they're aware that students are concerned and talking and thinking about it. And then I think that begins to move the conversation in ways that are more formal, right? So no matter what students feel about this policy, and quite frankly, no matter what I feel about this policy, it has to move through the governance process for any change to happen. And I would prefer that students be the first to put it in front of folks.
Right. And I don't know. I'm just trying to think. The best thing to do is have an idea about what you might want to do. Then I would talk with Ellen and or Heather Kahn, who is the chair of the curriculum committee, and have them flesh it out. So it's together, what's that word with the C? Collaborative, instead of it being, well, we don't like this, we want to change this. So if it's built collaboratively, I just made that word up. it's gonna run smoother and probably get through the process much quicker. That's just my opinion. Collaboratively, yeah.
Thank you. Nikki?
I know you mentioned the curriculum committee and there's no student on that currently. Is there ways to add a seat for a student on that committee?
So is this me? There is that I think they're looking at the policy now. What I would say about that is, even though there is not a seat, anyone can attend that meeting. The meeting.
Okay, when, what date and time is that meeting? Because I would definitely be interested.
That was going to be the next question that you were going to ask me.
Yeah.
It's on a Thursday. I think it's the last Thursday in the month. If you, I swear, Nikki, if you email me, I will return your email with that.
Okay, I'll send you an email about it after the meeting.
I'm pretty sure it's the last Thursday in the month.
Okay.
I just don't have the calendar in front of me right now, but it usually is the last Thursday of the month.
Okay, no worries. I'll send you an email after the meeting with a reminder, and so you can just email me back with the date and time.
What I would say about, so the academic stuff may be a little tougher sell to get a student on there, but like the policies, that may be an easier way, an easier sort of sell. People are very sort of territorial when it comes to making decisions about changing up programs and things like that, but the policies affect you all too. So I guess the curriculum affects you too, now I'm thinking about it. Huh.
I look at change as progress.
Right. So I'm gonna, don't forget the last three things that I said, but I'll send you the calendar, the whole meeting calendar. I'll just send it to, I'll send it to you, Nikki, so you just have the whole calendar for the rest of the semester, and you can share it with whoever you want to share it with. That might be the easiest thing.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Candace.
My pleasure.
Wonderful, thank you. So as we keep talking about that, and as you guys, because Nikki, I think you're probably gonna end up being the pin person for that, or point person, I'm not sure where that came from. Point person for that. So as you know, I think it would be cool to have you be the one who's kind of advocating for it, considering you brought it up in the first place. And then we can also have other people chime in as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. I would definitely be interested in that.
Wonderful, thank you. So I have it tabled again as discussion for the next meeting. And it's also something we can talk about during the committee meeting, or after the committee meeting, my bad. So as I mentioned before, the student organization officer qualifications is currently still under discussion. We kind of have an idea, but we're still waiting on, we're just waiting to talk about that a little bit more before we bring that back up. So something else we want to talk about on old business is the scholarship in memory of Stephanie Berry. So I just want to get an official like vote on, because we did talk about making it just an award for the, I think it's for the Evening of Excellence event at the end of the year. And we want to make it the Stephanie Berry Leadership Award, I believe is what we called it. So I just wanted to make sure that that's something that everybody is on board with before we make that a final thing. So I'd like to entertain a motion to make the Stephanie Berry Leadership Award. Yeah, my apologies for the wording being not clear on that.
Moved.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Thank you. All right, any discussion?
What is it about? And like, where does this originate from, the plan?
So I do know, so a lot of you were not here, last year, but our previous, SGA president, Stephanie Berry, passed away, a few weeks ago. But while she was the SGA president, she was also very involved in, many other areas of the college, in her academics, in extracurricular, clubs and organizations. She put a lot of work in. And she also did a lot of help with like recruiting and everything, but also for student government, she was just very involved and very dedicated. And so we were talking about it, and we were coming together and kind of talking about what we wanted to do, like in memory. We did send out a card. But Cody specifically, we were all talking about, and he brought up that we want to do something on a larger scale in her memory. So we first started talking about, like, maybe doing a scholarship, but then that would come out of the SGA funds. It'd have to come out of the SGA funds every year. I'd have to get funded if we did a scholarship. So we would have to, and people down the line wouldn't necessarily know what that is even about. So the last meeting we discussed changing it to more of like an award, because at the end of every academic year they have awards that they give out to people who are graduating. And so we were talking about, rather than doing a scholarship, it would be an award that's given out at the end of the year, and it's called the Stephanie Berry Leadership Award, is what we talked about. And that would be chosen, I believe, by what we talked about. I believe it would be chosen by Jason and Kathy, because trying to get a big panel of people together for it would be very difficult. But considering Jason and Kathy both work directly with students in and out of organizations, we thought that that would be a good place to start, like, or have them pick a student and have the award go out. Does that make sense?
What would be the criteria for selecting the person who gets it?
Good
Just
question.
SGA membership, or just a student involved, or I'm not sure.
That's a good question. So that's something, like, because she was very involved in everything, I don't think it has to be strictly an SGA award. I think it can be probably an award for any, like, leadership, like for somebody, if we know somebody who like shows good leadership in another organization. Or so I guess this is kind of what we're talking about, what we're finalizing right now before we finalize the award, is what the criteria would be. Because she was involved in so much, and like we could go a few different routes with this. So I'd like to hear the feedback on that. Ben?
Thank you. Yeah, I think the clarification is this: what we're voting on or about to vote on right now is the name of the award, not whether or not how it's handed out or anything like that. We're basically just naming it. Am I correct?
So I was actually thinking that we would be getting the award actually approved. So maybe, I don't know, and Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it would go into effect this year. Like,
Got you.
the sooner we get it approved, the sooner things can kind of be moving. We may still actually have to wait until next year to put it into effect. I'm not sure. Kathy said no. So so
In that case, I would just comment that we need to kind of get or nail down the details of what the criteria is, and how is this something that if a student were to see the name of it, how would they know what they need to do in order to earn it? And if they do everything to earn it and they're not selected, they understand why they were not selected. I think that's the concern.
Okay, thank you. Nikki?
Yeah, I was just reading Jason's comment about if we name it in honor, we could to tailor some of the criteria to reflect her memory. I was thinking that maybe one of the criteria could be that it goes to a non-traditional student, because Stephanie Barry was a non-traditional student, and she was very like proud of that for going back to school.
Okay.
As a non-traditional student myself, I don't know if I agree with that because I think leadership can come from anyone from any walk of life. But yeah.
So just quick question to Jason or Kathy or even Candace, but is there another leadership award that's given out? Like, not with like any specific criteria, like if we did it, if we did decide that we wanted this award to be for specifically non-traditional students, is there another leadership award that goes out for anybody?
I can't think of one. This is Candace.
Yeah, currently there isn't one. I mean, there's lots of other, like there's scholarships, like there's the Pete Trainer scholarship, which is a leadership-based scholarship. You know, and then you've got like your Dean's Key award. And, you know, some of the other scholarships have leadership base in them. They're kind of an overarching requirements. So yeah, this one I think would be more specific to, you know, the person that Stephanie was.
So leaning more like untraditional, and Justina just said also volunteer hours would play a big part in that. Eli, did you have something?
Yeah, I was mentioning that if this is connected to her name, that her family be somewhat involved, and at least the first year it's given out. I think that'd be a good touch. I don't know, just to if it's in her honor and her name, I think her family should at least approve the decision or at least be invited to be here.
That's a good suggestion. Thoughts on that? Candace?
So I don't know what award it is, but I think the early childhood education might give out an award that's connected to somebody. And only reason I remember that is because it's giving at the service award. The service awards, the hours reminded me of this. It's given at the service, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. If you get a certain number of volunteer hours, there's an award ceremony where you get a pendant or whatever. And I think the early childhood education has an award that they give out to someone in early childhood that does a certain number of hours. And I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name of it, but that would be specific to, I believe, someone who's in human service, not human service, early childhood education.
Yeah, that's correct, Candace.
Yeah.
It's given out at the Service Learning Awards banquet through the Brewer Center. I can't remember the name of the award. It was for a student that was here that had passed away. And just like, you know, there's a number of veteran awards that are given in honor of students, as well as some art awards that are given in honor of previous students that have passed away. So it's not uncommon to create an award like this in someone's memory.
Candace, did you have something else too?
Well, that I'm sorry, I that's right, my hand on. Take that.
No worries. Any other thoughts on that? Because like some things, for those of you who didn't know Stephanie, kind of just some things about her. She, like I said, she was very involved in everything. She was the president of student government. She was, I think, the vice president of CATS, I think. And I think she was the vice president of Daffy. And I think she was she was very involved with a lot of things. She did a lot around campus. She was part of the criminal justice, she was part of the paralegal tours. And I know there's like, my mind is blanking right now, but she just all around was very involved. Ren?
To kind of go off of what Eli was saying, I know we really need to talk about the qualifications for this, but my suggestion, Eli, you mentioned the family, what if we present them with the first official award, you know, giving it to Stephanie post. Sorry, words are hard.
No, that's okay.
But I think like it would be a nice gesture if we invite the family and present the first official award once we go through with it to them, but this is like way later after we figure out how we're gonna do it first. Posthumous, thank you, Nikki.
I like that idea a lot, actually. That's a, hold on to that. Jason?
I just wanted to just make a clarification about awards in general. Awards are not designed to be applied for in many ways, right? So we have a number of posthumous awards that are named after people with very specific qualifications. For example, every year we give out the
You froze, Jason.
I don't think he'd hear them.
and it can you not hear me?
You
We
froze
lost
for
you.
about 30 seconds.
Okay, am I back? It's my internet.
You are back.
Okay, so I was saying that number of awards of those awards are no.
We definitely have heard that number of awards posthumously, but then after that, nothing.
I'm gonna type it in the chat.
Okay.
Thank you. Eli?
I think Jason and Kathy would make a, like a good decision to who it would go to. So, I mean, more money for students is like never a bad thing. I was just questioning tracing the name to who it would go to and involve our family in some way. But I think it's more money for students is never a bad idea, I think.
So I also do want to clarify, we decided, I think, to move away from the scholarship part of it, and it's just going to be like an award, like a plaque or something. So I don't think there's any going to be monetary value to the award necessarily. I think we just want, because we'd have to, like I said before, so the people, after we leave, after this group leaves and people come and start replacing us, they're not going to know who Stephanie is. So if we left it up to the SGA to fundraise to be able to fund this, because it probably would not get funded any other way except for if the SGA funded it. And if the SGA doesn't know who she was as the time goes on, they'd be like, why are we even fundraising for this? So I feel like if we just did it as an award, and I think it would come out of, it would come out of the student life office. It would be an award from the student life office. So, and Kathy obviously remembers Stephanie, they worked very close together. So, I feel like that would be a much better way to do that than putting it on the SGA after over the years, like people just, time goes by, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Yeah, so, very cool. Any other, thoughts on that? Sorry, my brain totally just paused for a second. Like there's like a pause there.
I do have a quick thought on it. Like you just said, Chloe, it's nice to be able to have something in remembrance and just have that long living legacy. I do like the idea of an award. I also was just thinking it would also be kind of nice to, you know, how like we have the library that's named after someone. I don't know if we can do that to anything in the college for Stephanie.
Probably not. That's like, that's big. That's a big
Okay,
thing.
I didn't know. I was just wondering.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it's much easier to get an award after somebody, named after somebody, than to have a part of the building named after somebody. Because I think, like, you know, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the reason that the different parts of the building are named after people is because they funded building it.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think an award is about as far as we're gonna get as in terms of naming something. Yeah, you know what I mean, right? Yeah.
Would it be possible to do something, because I've seen this in workplaces before, where there's like a plaque somewhere and it says the Stephanie Award has been awarded to, and then it has a list of names and it just gets updated every time the award's been given.
That might be possible.
Kathy's not.
Not yet. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have the awards cabinet that is in the hallway outside of like the Student Services and Veteran Services office. I can tell you right now, it's not up to date, where I'm waiting on some plaques to come in, some nameplates. But that is where a number of things are put, like the Dean's Key, President's Key. There's a number of awards that we have plaques out there for. So yeah, we could definitely add one.
Yeah, so I think that's a good idea. If the goal is to have something in remembrance, that way people could see it, ask questions about the person who it's named after, and they can get the story from faculty members who've been with the college a long time, or maybe the story gets passed down as even faculty members move on to other positions or retire.
So I guess in terms of because I mean, I'm personally on board with having the first award go to Stephanie's family. I think that would be very cool. And I'm also on board with having like the award plaque in the student services. But in terms of the requirements and kind of criteria, if we'll leave that up to Kathy and Jason to pick the student that they see fit, who's most like Stephanie, like in involvement and just kind of just, I think we could probably leave that up to Kathy and Jason, and it would be in pretty good hands. And it would be a fair choice because they both worked closely with Stephanie. So what are thoughts on leaving it up to just Kathy and Jason to figure out kind of what student would be the best fit for the award, and the name of the award, the Stephanie Berry Leadership Award? Any thoughts?
How, Kathy and Jason, how do you guys feel about that? Good, thumbs up?
I like the idea. I love the name of the award, and I think those are the best two people that understood Steph. So definitely.
Yeah, I'm ready to vote. Let's, we can approve it, I think.
I think we still need to have a criteria, because at some point, eventually, maybe Kathy might retire.
Maybe.
Maybe
Maybe.
Jason as well. And then after they're, nope, they're both like, nope, Kathy's left. But, after they're gone, who picks up that flame and
See,
who votes
that-
after? So
yeah,
I think
that's a
still
good-
we need a criteria, we need
Yes.
who gets it for what.
So
I don't know if Jason's messages are just coming to me or if they're coming to the whole chat, but I see him saying, can Kathy and I come up with criteria to present to the SGA to then have us take a look and say, yep, this looks good. Let's have this be the criteria to earn the award.
yes.
Yeah, you're definitely the only one getting those then.
Oh, yes to that, but also yes to the
Yes, to
proposal.
the second, I think.
Yeah,
I like, yeah, I ain't getting them either.
thoughts on that though?
I like,
I think everybody likes
I
that.
like it too.
Come up and talk to the table.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
Yep, so. Oh, I thought you said something. So, all right, so let's go, cause we do know that the first award is already going to the family. But I definitely think that moving forward, I think it would be good to have Kathy and Jason bring us what they think the criteria should be, and then we can talk about it from then. That's a really good idea. So question is, do we want to table this or do we want to just approve the award? And then later on approve the criteria of the award, considering if we approve the award and it's going to the family first? What are the thoughts on that?
Jason has said that we can amend the motion to allow them to create the award with criteria to present for a final vote.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, Nikki, you kind of broke up.
I broke up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jason put in the comments that we can amend the motion to allow him and Kathy to create an award with criteria to present for the final vote.
Okay, we're not getting any
Did
of these
anybody else
chats.
get that comment? Or Jason, are you sending it only to one person? You need to make sure you're sending to everyone.
I'm
It says
sending
to everyone.
Oh,
Is
we're
it just
we're
us?
just kind of not getting anything.
I'm not getting it either, so.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, close out the chat and then, no, don't leave the meeting. Don't leave the meeting.
I think Ben and I will be Jason's official comment readers because we're the only ones actually getting them.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we haven't gotten a single chat since Nikki's at 5:25. That was only 2 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, wow, that was a long time ago. I'm like, oh, wow, it's actually not. But
So it's probably just us then. Or actually, Eli, Justina's not getting anything either. Well, as long as somebody.
I give up.
oh, boy.
It says my chats are being sent on February 16th at 1:52 PM. So
Nice.
unless you can travel back in time,
I think it might be a you problem.
Oh, no.
No, there's something wrong in the universe if my internet is going faster than everyone else's. There's something wrong here.
I'm seeing all the chats, so I don't know, and they're all in real time.
We're in the same building.
That's so funny. Oh, my word. So,
Yes, let's go with Jason's idea.
so I'd like to amend the motion, to, approve the scholarship. Not scholarship. Oh, I've already messed this up. To approve the award, for the Stephanie Berry, Leadership Award. And then next week, Kathy and Jason will present to, not next week, yeah, the next meeting that Kathy and Jason will present to us, criteria that they think is appropriate for this award, and then we'll take, our final vote then.
that's a really long motion.
So
That is
moved.
That's, I know, I should
Seconded.
have, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
Someone could say it's the make a motion to approve the Stephanie Berry Leadership Award with criteria picked by the student dean and director of student life.
Yes,
Or pending
Pen-
criteria?
pending criteria, perhaps.
Does that sound better?
'Cause
Pending
we gotta vote.
criteria put by so and so.
Voted on at the next meeting. I don't know.
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. Discussion on the amended motion.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, we got that message from Jason.
I think it's fantastic.
Let's do it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. So we'll pick this up at the next meeting. All right. So let's move on to new business. So, Justina, would you like to bring it up considering you, requested everything, so the water fountains?
Yes, so I had the automotive department, including their teacher, come talk to me about not having any water fountains in the whole building, and then when the drink machine goes down, occasionally they have no drink options besides, I guess, from the tap, which is not anybody's first choice. And then they were wondering if it would be possible to get one with the water refill bottle so they could refill bottles and have them in class. I don't know what we do from there. And then also in the art wing, the water bubblers are still not working. I actually took a video. They barely, unless you want to lick it, you're not getting any water. And the closest drink option is in the commons, or if you need a vending, all the way down in the South Calf. So if you're in the middle of class and you need a water break, you're going pretty far to get some water. So we were also wondering if there'd be a way to get maybe a vending machine put near the restrooms when you first come into the art wing.
Okay. And then some discussion in the chat that I've just kind of seen briefly come up in the little chat bubble thingies.
This time.
So a school dude is a work order. It's not a dude going to school. I'm not, no, but it's a work order that people can submit on iConnect. I believe you can go through iConnect and it's like one of the icons there next to Blackboard, I think. Not directly next to Blackboard, but in that section. I believe it's on there. So is this the first thing? Is this the first time that they've said anything, Justina? Or have they submitted it on School Dude?
Sorry, my computer is being weird. I'm not sure if they put in a school dude for that in the art wing or not. And then I don't know if they brought it up in the automotive before, but I can ask. I'm pretty sure my sister will be there tomorrow.
So I can check on the water fountain issue in the art wing and at automotive. So automotive is a new building that we just purchased. So that's probably why we have not yet updated some of those pieces. And I don't even know if there is water that can be, taken into a filling station. So let me check on that. I'll check on the art wing. But in the past, art faculty have not been excited about putting vending in that area, because a lot of that area does not allow food or drink. So putting food or drink in an area where you don't allow food or drink, I have 3 kids. I know what happens when you do that. There's been concerns about doing that.
Yeah, they weren't looking for food at all, just for like a drink. I know that. I know because I've taken theater, and I know we can have them in our classrooms. We just can't have them in the theater itself.
Okay, I'll check on those 2 things.
I mean, I usher there, and they sell concessions right outside the theater all the time. And all they have to say is, hey, only water inside the theater. And there hasn't been a problem in all the years of theater. So I don't know.
I know, and that's another issue, Eli. Thanks for bringing. I was just about to type that the theater gets a lot of, or they use that as a fundraiser to sell concessions. And if you have a vending machine, you lose money on concessions. So every time we've thought about vending down there, there's been some pushback.
I noticed they only sell water though when they do the vending too, so it wouldn't be too much like interference when they do the sales. They do the snacks. Like I brought M&Ms in the theater one time.
Oh boy. We're recording. Okay, so is that something like that, Jason, you're gonna check on? And then we can talk about it again a little bit at the next meeting. Or you can get back to Justina directly. Possibly. I don't know how you guys how we wanna do that.
Either way works for me.
Yeah, I'll report back. Let me see what I can find out.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Okay, so big thing is we're in the spring semester and it's kind of flying by. Just in case nobody was aware. But yeah, we have a lot of people graduating from student government. So the next thing we're going to talk about is recruiting. Everybody should be talking to people. So like we should be recruiting at least 2 to 3 people a piece to try and get people onto the SGA. Because I mean this year it's been really cool because we've had more people than the past 2 years. And it's been good having the extra people. However, the SGA can actually sit up to like I think 18 people. So everybody should be talking to people about joining the SGA, and I do have something to add to that after. But just real quick, elections are going to be April 10th through the 13th. So marketing committee and constitution committee, technically this is supposed to run through the constitution committee. Sarah is not here, but Justina, you guys on the marketing committee are going to be working on this very shortly, because we have to figure out means of recruiting, because the elections are April 10th through the 13th, and so we're going to be electing 1 trustee to replace Cody and 8 at-large representatives. We can do elections up to that. Any questions on that at the moment? Ben, you have your hand up.
So I was thinking we could try to throw, and I know it's like around the corner for us, but it's not so much around the corner for the college. Try and do some sort of an event to get people involved, to help spread, hey, this is the student government, this is what we do. If this is something you're interested in doing, then please put your name on the ballot for the upcoming election. That's going to be right around the corner. And I'm thinking that the best time to try and do that, unfortunately, might be on the 7th, which is our next meeting. We all be at the college in person. We get as many people to stop by the student lounge as possible while we're meeting, so they can see what this is like.
So I'm trying to think, March 7th.
That's 2 weeks from now. That's literally the next time we meet.
Because technically we would still have 1 meeting between that and the elections in April. So we would still have a little bit of time. If we because 2 weeks isn't really a lot of time to put something like that together.
I agree.
So maybe if we want to run with that idea, and we'll take everybody's input on that, but if that's something we want to try and do, maybe we could aim for the 21st instead, because it's also closer to elections and people aren't going to forget about it necessarily within the 4 weeks between 4 to 5-ish weeks between the 7th and then April 10th.
The other thing I'm thinking about, though, and not to interrupt you, but the other thing I'm thinking about is if we did on the 7th, anyone who gets interested, that would give them enough time to think about doing their campaign, getting people interested in voting for them to get into the student council or student government.
I'm sorry, my brain totally just did not process that. I apologize, that's my fault. I'm like. Hold on, I'm just trying to process that. Oh, yes, okay, thank you. My brain kind of just didn't, for some reason, didn't register that, thank you. That's a good point. So what is everybody's thoughts on that?
Is the idea a live SGA meeting? Is that the?
That's what we're doing right now, kind of. I think, right? Because it will, because
I mean, it'd be at night, right? Like, who's at school right now?
In terms of students, I mean, other students, nobody, but me, Ren, and Betty Jo are here.
Yes. You might time people hang out.
I think it's a really good idea personally, because I remember when I first came to my first like SGA meeting, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was gonna be like. I didn't know, like, I don't know, I had a lot of questions, and I think if someone can see it in front of them before they decide to join, what I thought SGA was it was so much better than what I had in my head once I like was part of a meeting. So I think if someone can see what it's like, we probably will get more members.
So Ben, are you talking about, or even Justina, because you mentioned the live SGA meeting thing? Are we talking about like doing something like during the day? Like if everybody can be like, I'm not sure, I'm not following. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the idea, is to do something in a way that if we can do it at a point where students are kind of going back and forth in the student lounge or somewhere that students are traveling through, they can kind of see what's happening, and it makes them stop to go, okay, what's this? And then whoever might not be talking at the time can say, this is an SGA meeting, this is what we normally do. We just usually hold it over Zoom or at a different time than this time. And we're trying to get more people aware of what we do, how it works, and if they are interested in contributing to get run in the election that's coming up in April in the April dates. And that way it gets more people more informed as to kind of what's happening, is kind of what the goal is. I don't know if it needs to necessarily be like an actual live meeting, or if it needs to be like just a event that we throw at some point. And that event could be, you know, something that is, hey, this is information about the SGA, we're all members, this is what we do. It could be kind of more informal at that point. I don't know how everyone feels about this, but it's just kind of, it feels like it's harder to come to a scheduled meeting because people don't always have the time to try and do that with their busy lives. If they're just going back and forth to classes and they're there anyways, and they overhear what's happening, it kind of gets them to think about it.
Okay, Ren?
Great idea. But we meet at 4:30 because none of us are available during the day. I myself could not put 2 to 3 hours in the middle of the day just because of my class and work schedule. A more informal idea is probably good. Like, how about just like a good old club recruiting table?
So that's what I do have,
Just keep it simple, KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. You never.
I've never heard of that. But Nikki, I had a little comment on that too, but Nikki?
If we do have something scheduled, I was wondering if we could do it more hybrid like we do now, because I'd really love to be involved in this, but unfortunately I can't come to campus right now.
So what I was thinking is, because I agree with Ren in this, the scheduling for during the day is sometimes very difficult. We just had a big event where we asked everybody to sacrifice that time during the day to be there, and it was very difficult for some people. So I think in terms of like recruiting, what we could do is like Ben's idea, like if you have free time, we can go out and talk to people in the in like the common areas where people are. We can go and talk to people, and we do have the SGA booth. And I do apologize for that, because this semester we've had so much going on, and that has not really been something that we've talked about. So that is my bad, because we just have not talked about that. But we have the SGA booth, and we have like people who have free time in between things. If you have free time in between things, we can go out and like talk to people. We can talk to people in our classes and just say, hey, we're meeting tonight, and or whatever night it is that we're, you know, talking to people. Come join us for our next meeting, because we have every 2 weeks, you know, come see what we're all about. Kathy?
Yes, so kind of as a follow-up to the SGA booth, and don't forget, we also have the virtual office, which I know Nikki had requested. She wants to start covering that again. So I was kind of playing with this idea over the weekend, thinking about it. Maybe you could offer some incentive for students to come and talk to the SGA, especially in the virtual office. So like if students come in, we can say, hey, if you come in and talk to the SGA, you'll be put into some sort of a drawing. SGA could use some funds to maybe buy some gift cards. SGA could potentially you know, do the recruiting down in the student center where there's more people, do active recruiting, not just sitting. But actually, and then anybody that kind of talks to the SGA is entered into the drawing to win these gift cards. We can also recruit over at the Leominster campus. I was over there last Friday, and I talked with Sabine, and she's very open to having SGA come over and do some recruiting over there for the elections. I did just look at the calendar. So based on when elections are scheduled for April 10th, all nomination papers need to be received into my office by the end of the day on March 31st. So when you think about that, there's not a whole lot of time. This kind of creeps up on us very quickly. So I know last year SGA did some extensive, they did an SGA week with and you know, a whole host of different events every day. It was a lot of work. And we might not be able to commit to that, but I think if we do some really, what's the word I want? Intrusive recruiting, where you're not just sitting at a table waiting for people to come to you, but you're actually going out and talking to people. I think that might be the better option.
Yeah, thank you. Ben?
Could we, I think we still have the SGA booth form. Could we have everyone basically commit to fill that out to a time that they are available in the next couple of weeks? And I do mean multiple times, to talk to their classmates at their classes, you know, just ask the teacher, hey, can I talk about the SGA at the beginning of class really quick? Do the same thing when you're standing around the student lounge and say, hey, did you guys know about the SGA this week? Obviously, you don't want to overburden people with it. Don't talk to the same person multiple times, but, you know, try to, what I'm saying is, can we have something as a dedicated, like, I'm at this point, I'm going to be talking to people at this location about the SGA.
Okay, Justina?
Kathy, is a kind of question for you, but can we move the SGA booth from the Commons to the student lounge prior to, so we can like really start sitting there where they are and just grabbing people?
Yes, I was actually going to say that, and I was hesitant because it's a toss-up whether you get more people. I mean, obviously you get all the people sitting in the student center, but then you miss all the people that never go to the student center. But yeah, you can absolutely move it. It's on wheels. We move it all the time.
I feel like the people in the student center are the ones that we're going to be able to recruit. The people walking by are doing just that.
Yeah. Well, so didn't we have the didn't we used to have the SGA booth? It was in that, like, you know, where all the college people come in and or career people, and they'll come in and sit over there. Didn't we used to have the SGA booth over there somewhere?
Yeah, it was over there. We had moved it when we came back kind of from COVID, more as a place where we were greeting people when they were first coming to campus to help people navigate the campus. And it kind of just stayed that way. We seem to get more people going through that way. But yeah, it used to sit in the hallway outside student services along the windows there.
Okay. Nikki?
If we want to promote the SGA virtual office too, I did talk to Kathy about filling those hours. Last semester I did quite a few hours on there, and I plan to do quite a few hours this semester. I try to do a little bit every day so that like if someone wants to come, there's different days available. Yeah, if we want to promote that, like that would be great. I can sign up on the sheet that's on there so that everybody knows like when I'm available in there. But yeah, I'm really willing to do that.
Okay. But any other thoughts, discussion on this? Because it is sneaking up. It's. Oh,
But like as someone that's not part of the SBA, I wouldn't know about it unless, other than you and Ren. Like if I didn't know you guys, I would have no idea this could happen. So I don't know if you have, like a team that advertise stuff.
so we're
But
supposed
they need
to,
to like advertise.
so
like,
we.
posters or something.
We are missing the chair for the Constitution Committee, but the Constitution Committee, I believe, is responsible for most of the recruiting, if not organizing all of the recruiting. And we do have the marketing committee who's gonna be a big part in helping in that. The only issue is we are missing the chair for the Constitution Committee, and that's kind of a big deal. So what I think would be best is putting this on hold until Tuesday, at the committee meeting, considering it is supposed to be a Constitution Committee thing. But I definitely think we have to advertise both virtual and in person. And so I think what we'll do, because we can't commit to a full day like thing, people being out during the day, but like in your friend groups, because I know like you're the president of Saga, and I know I say I know, but I'm aware that everybody is involved in different areas too. Like we can like reach out to people we know and just get by word of mouth, just start talking to people. And then marketing can come in after when we know kind of if we want to do a bigger event. But we can, is everybody okay about talking about that after the committee meetings next Tuesday? Kathy?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I will make sure I have nomination papers ready to go for that. I'll try to get them out tomorrow so that everybody has access to them. I'll create an involvement event where people can go. So you can send students directly there to get the nomination papers. And just to know, if anybody is returning in the fall and wishes to be on SGA again, you all have to rerun for your positions. It's not a given. If your positions are for this academic year only, so everybody has to run again if you want to serve on SGA next year.
Yeah, thank you. I almost forgot about that. All right, so I'm gonna say for right now, let's just our major recruiting, let's just like go and talk to people we know, talk to friend groups, and then we'll talk more about it on Tuesday. So just out of curiosity, because I have had some people reach out to me, would it be easier if we had an email go out the morning of the committee meeting? I mean, we talk about it during the SGA meeting, like every Tuesday, we meet at 4:30, but would it be better if there was an email that went out? Would people prefer that? What are thoughts on that?
I don't think people read their emails.
Huh?
I don't think people read their emails, to be honest.
That's true.
People should just, we have a meeting every single Tuesday at 4:30.
Agreed.
Okay.
I mean, you've said it.
I like emails. I don't know. I would like one.
We meet every Tuesday at 4:30.
I know also some people do put like alarms on their phones for every Tuesday. I mean, basically it's kind of like if you have the alarm set for every Tuesday at 4 o'clock or 4:15, you know that there is some kind of meeting. And if like, we just had an SGA meeting, it's a committee meeting, if we just had a committee meeting, or we haven't had an SGA meeting in 2 weeks, then it's another SGA meeting or a committee meeting. But I just was wondering, so, all right, and so something that I don't know right now at this point in the semester, Kathy, what your thoughts are on this. Like, I think it's still okay, but if we've had a student, like I had a student email me, expressing their interest to join SGA, and they are currently, they meet the requirements and, have been to the last 2 or 3 SGA meetings. Can we vote them in now? Or, because I just received the email today.
So wait a minute, so there's somebody that's been to the meetings?
Yeah,
You have the email and you want to nominate them? to
uh,
put it in?
yes. Somebody expressed interest today after attending the last couple SGA meetings.
Okay,
Yeah,
who was, because I don't think the minutes had any guests.
so
last meeting.
they actually, I am thinking about this now. They should have, because Betty Jo has been a guest at the last couple meetings. And she has sent me an email requesting to join SGA. But my thought, like, because I didn't think about that until afterwards, that she was not listed as a guest on the minutes and we have already voted to approve it, do we now have to wait until the next meeting? Or,
Can we amend the minutes from the last one to add her as a guest?
cause I hadn't thought about it, it was not brought to my attention until today, like literally 2 minutes before the meeting, and I kind of got the email. Sorry.
I'm just looking back at the other minutes.
I don't believe they were on there. That's why I made note of it to add to this one, because she is here in the, oh yeah, you can, this way. Yes, see the video thing.
It's here in the corner.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
I'm gonna defer to Jason or Candace on that. As far as whether we can do that.
So, you're talking for this meeting?
So, for the last meeting, well, so the last 2 meetings, so 2 meetings ago, she attended part of it. She only was able to be here for part of it, and then the last meeting she was here, and then she's here today. And I didn't know if we could vote, like, to have her appointed on SGA today, or if we have to wait till the next meeting, because when we just did the approval of the minutes this morning, I'm not this morning, oh wow. At the beginning of the meeting, I had not seen the email. And I
Okay,
totally didn't register that she was a guest at the last meeting, but she was here
so how many meetings does a person have to attend to
too.
be to? So this would be the second meeting.
So
If we-
Yes, but
two and then technically 3, because then the third one is when they apply for so they petition to be voted in.
so if
Yep.
she attended half of like the one that was 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, 2 meetings ago, does that count as her being here, or do we still have to wait till the next meeting? So like, does she have to be here for the full length of the meeting?
So I don't know that, but what I do know is you can't change them. It is very, very, I don't want to say you can't, but it's very difficult to change minutes at a previous meeting. You can change minutes for this meeting because someone who voted on the prevailing side can ask to put the minutes back on the floor, and then you can amend them. But after this meeting closes, then you really can't do any business related to this meeting. Does that make sense? So you can't amend the minutes from the previous meeting because the meeting has closed, basically. But if you want to amend the minutes in your old business, you can ask someone to, they would reconsider, put a motion on the floor to reconsider the minutes, and then you can reconsider them, then make the amendment, and then vote on them again, and she can be in the minutes for the previous meeting, right? I know it sounds crazy. So the minutes for this meeting will have her in them. The minutes that you amend from the previous meeting that you accepted today would have her in it. So if it takes 3 officially, you would have to wait to the next meeting, I'm thinking. Because technically, they've only been at 2 meetings, according to the minutes, if you amend them today.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What I would suggest you do is this. And Kathy, if I'm wrong, please say that I'm wrong. I would say invite the person to the next meeting. That is one of the first things that you do on your agenda is make them a member, I guess, Kathy. Because the previous meeting really doesn't count because technically they weren't in the minutes. Yeah, Robert's an interesting guy, huh?
So they would have to they'd have to open up the minutes that they previously approved today to amend them, to add that person from last meeting.
Correct.
Yes, and then they would be listed this meeting, and then the third meeting, the next meeting would be their third meeting when they could be voted in.
Correct. If that's the way it's supposed to, do they have to have a complete meeting or they just need to show up for 3 meetings?
It just says 3 meetings. It doesn't specify the entire meeting.
Then if you were asking me, that and $1 will get you a cup of coffee, but that's what I would say the cleanest way. Fix the minutes for today, and then at the next meeting, one of the first orders of business would be putting them on SGA. And
Okay.
the motion is to reconsider the minutes. Someone would have to move that and second it. Then you would reconsider the minutes. Someone would amend the minutes. And then you would vote on them again. And I've had a half a cup of coffee, so I'm happy to walk you through that if you want me to.
So if I make a motion to reconsider the minutes from February 7th, we would need somebody to move it and then second it, and then we can discuss it and then a vote again.
Well, you would amend it. You would put the person's name in there. You would say, someone would say, hey, I want to make an amendment to the minutes. And then that would be to add the person's name as a guest. And then you would vote on them again with the amended. You would vote on the amended minutes.
So anybody can make that motion.
Absolutely.
I make a motion to amend February 2nd
No.
minutes.
No. I make a motion to reconsider the minutes of February 2nd, 2023. February 7th, sorry.
So moved. Justine, you're like, no, I'm doing it.
Second,
We just need somebody to second.
Nikki just
Oh,
did.
I did. And then now someone needs to make the amendment, say what you want to amend in the minutes.
Justina, do you want to, because you've made it.
I would like to make an amendment to add Betty Jo Casey as a guest to the minutes.
Do we
And
have
then
to vote on that?
Now, what's on the floor now is the amended minutes of February 7th.
Second. What was the date?
Second,
Seven.
So we have to move and second that
no,
amendment?
all you need to do is say, now on the floor is the amended minutes for whatever date it is. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Okay, okay. I believe that's also now on Justina too, because she made the motion.
So now on the floor is the amended minutes. Is it anybody all in favor?
I
Need the date.
Oh, of February.
still have.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
So you officially have now the person has been to 2 meetings according to the minutes. So it's all legal and stuff for the next meeting, I believe.
okay. Thank you, Candace. Cause I was like, not sure how that would have worked.
That's why I'm here. Well, no, it's not, but you know.
That's why we keep you around.
Oh, wow.
The best, Candace.
Oh, man. Okay, wait, let me get back to my agenda. All right. So I just figured because we were talking about recruiting, I would just throw that in there. And Justina, you got, sorry, I had to stretch. You got the left early, right? Did you happen to catch what time that was?
I think it was like 6:04.
Okay,
It was about 6:02.
Good.
okay, thank you. Just taking note. Okay. So we are having a student advisory council info session on March 3rd. I don't think it's necessarily mandatory, but very close to it. It's highly recommended. It's gonna be from 1 to 3 p.m. Kathy?
Yeah, I just want to say, so this is something I'm organizing with Stacy Bougie at the Department of Higher Ed, who is the advisor for Student Advisory Council. So this is in preparation for the upcoming elections for the Board of Higher Ed student member and segmental advisors. This year, community colleges will have a segmental advisor. So this is going to be with all of the community colleges in Mass. We're going to do kind of training, give a little input of to what SAC is. Your student trustee and your SGA president are required to attend the SAC meetings. So the intent of it is just, you know, so that you fully understand, and also if you have any interest in potentially running for segmental advisor position. It's a position where you would represent all of the community colleges to SAC and to the Board of Higher Ed. And the meeting is on the 31st, no, March 3rd. Sorry, March 3rd. I say 1 to 3. I don't think it's going to take till 3 o'clock. I'm actually meeting with the presenters tomorrow morning at 9 to plan the meeting. But it's more information. I would strongly recommend all the SGA members attend, because even if you don't plan to be president or trustee or run for a position, it is really good to understand what SAC fully is, get it right from the person that runs it from the state level. It is on Zoom, so anybody can go. And again, it's for all of the community colleges in Massachusetts. So many of the students that went to the conference in the fall will be attending.
Thank you for that, because yeah, again, I totally would have missed that. So if you're planning to run for president or student trustee, it's borderline mandatory that you be there. But it's also very important for everybody else to be there too, because it is something that we're still a part of as the student government, and we're still involved with at the state level with like what all other colleges and universities are doing. And so that's kind of just how we all stay connected. That being said, SAC right now, I'm part of the Community Building Day team on SAC. So we did talk about it a little bit at the off-week meeting. So I just want to make a quick comment on what we talked about and why we missed something. We have our own food pantry on campus. We don't have to donate to the Gardner food pantry. And I'm not sure why we missed that. However, I just want to give, for anybody who was not there, and I think most of this group was, but so for Community Building Day, it's a week-long thing that we're going to be doing. The Student Advisory Council is mainly putting it together, but it's a whole week of events. There's going to be a virtual event. I believe it's on Thursday. But we wanted to do our event as a college. Because student government, we're putting together our own event to help support this and kind of show awareness for it. Because like I said before, our main concern right now that we've talked about as a group is basic needs security. And so at the last off-week meeting, we talked about how food is a big issue. So we want to do a food drive on April 4th and a bake sale. So the food drive is going to be all week. But we're really going to do most of our advertising on April 4th, which is a Tuesday. And then we also want to do a bake sale, and all the proceeds that we get from the bake sale is going to go to the Emergency Student Loan Fund, and all of the proceeds we get from the food drive is going to go to the food pantry on campus. And that's something we did talk about, and I do want to hear everybody's final thoughts on that before because I'm going to make a committee for that once we get that finalized. Nikki?
So Chloe, I think I brought this up during one of our off weeks in committee, that the Human Services Club was interested in doing something with the bake sale for us. They were thinking of doing, if we could like collaborate, and they could do a hot cocoa bar with our bake sale.
Oh, you did mention that. I believe you mentioned that. I just kind of spaced it again.
No worries. That's why I brought it up.
My apologies. So is that, I mean, like I said, that's something, as long as everybody's like, okay with the main idea, we can make a little committee, like a subcommittee for that. And, that's something we can talk about, and we can reach out to anybody who wants to collaborate for that. Because it is a college-wide thing. We're trying to bring awareness for that. And get out information. Like basic needs security is a big thing, because if people aren't getting their basic needs met, they cannot enjoy their experience at school necessarily, because they're worried about, am I going to have food on the table? Am I going to have a place to live? Like stuff like that, so it's very important that we do have the involvement. So I think that would be really cool to have them participate, but that's something we can talk about as long as this idea is okay with everybody, as in general, with both the food drive for the whole week, and then oh my gracious, yep, bake sale. Yes, sorry, on Tuesday.
Yeah, during our last meeting, we're meeting again tomorrow, but during our last meeting, they had also mentioned doing food drive as well, so maybe we could collab on that too. They actually had literally the exact same ideas that we had. So they're definitely looking to do like their community service for the semester, as well as like get like some kind of event going. So I thought maybe we could, if we could collab on those with them, that would be awesome.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something that we can talk about, because that would be a good opportunity as well for them to see, like, to be able to work with SGA too, you know, and kind of see like we're about helping the students, you know. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm down with all of that. Maybe we could even see if we can get people like the Brewer Center involved and maybe have like make it more of a bigger event so that we do get more contributions.
So the Brewer Center, I believe, is already involved. They're gonna be doing they're gonna go to like and what is it called? You had to tell me last week. The table.
Yes,
table.
the Brewer Center is collaborating with the Green Society in addition to do the Lion's Den
Yeah.
activity table, and they're going to be doing encouraging students to do their own planting. So it'll be, you know, probably just having out there where students can get everything and they can plant herbs or microgreens or whatever and take those home. So this is something that they've reached out to the Green Society to at least cover that. So that will also be happening all week.
Okay. And Nikki, it's April 4th, Tuesday, as long as that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I'll also mention it to Pi Theta Kappa to see if they want to do anything to help out. I do want to ask questions because I'm probably going to be the one of the people looking to get something out of this, because we literally I'm getting loans just to pay for food.
Yeah, definitely. Because you are aware we have a food pantry, right, Ben?
Oh, I know. It's literally like our mortgage is paid every month and my wife's income alone does not pay for it.
Please reach out for help, because we are here to help each other too. Nikki?
I also want to let you know, during the last human services meeting, I talked to someone it does their like work study in both the food pantry and brewer center. And I asked them if there was any way that we, you know, the banner that's right outside the food pantry. I asked them if they could reach out to marketing to make one in Spanish as well, because it's only in English. I asked about making the application in a bigger font, because currently I can't read the application myself, it's too small. So just basically making it more accessible for everyone.
That's cool too. Thank you for bringing that up. I really appreciate that, because like it's a perspective that a lot of us kind of miss. So I do really appreciate that.
No problem.
So any other thoughts of before because we can all, I'm gonna make a committee and I'm gonna see who's interested, and I'll probably be the chair because I'm the one who is directly in contact with Student Advisory Council. And we're talking about it and everything out there. Thoughts on that? I'm gonna make a committee for it.
Committee as
That's a new one. I've never heard it. All right, so I'm gonna make a committee, the Community Building Day Committee. And I'm gonna I don't know. I'm trying to think of who. So would you be able to come to campus that day, Nikki?
That all depends if I'm walking or not. For those of you that don't know, I'm in a wheelchair now. I don't know when I'm going to be able to walk again, so unfortunately that's why I can't come to campus. But hopefully with a lot of work, I'll be able to walk by that. If I can, absolutely.
No worries. I was not aware, but no problem at all. I was just wondering. So, on that day, we would have to, what we'll talk about in the committee meetings is kind of like what time and who would be there to run it during the different times, on the Tuesday. So, is anybody specifically invested in Community Building Day, wanting to make this a thing? Justina, we're roping you into it because you're on the marketing committee.
And I suggest we start the bake sale 9 a.m. That worked really well for us on cats. So I say early, the better. But 8's too early because we need time to set up.
Okay.
As someone that may benefit from this, would it be bad if I were to try and volunteer?
No. I don't think that would be bad at all.
Okay, I like to bake.
All right, so okay, for the committee, I'm just gonna I'm gonna make the committee yeah, write it down because my memory's not working. All right, so I'm gonna, I don't know, what it like, hold on. My bad. My thoughts are a little all over the place at the moment. It's been a day. So I'm gonna run the committee meetings. I'm gonna run the committee. And I'm gonna just need everybody's help on that. So I think I'm gonna snag Ren and Justina for the committee. And then I'm gonna need we're gonna definitely need all hands on deck for the event itself, the day that we're doing the thing. Community Building Day.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be involved in the long run. I think if we just need to hash out the details.
Yeah. All right, so I'll reach out to you guys and then that'll probably just be a first meeting thing and we'll just knock it all out and then we'll reach out to everybody and get everybody on board. Okay, so that being said, I have a few announcements. So, save the date. March 30th from 5 to 9, we have a DJ dance party. And it's gonna be a tropical sands theme. Yeah, I have.
Can I just make a comment there? I opened this up to all of the other community colleges in CCSLA. Currently QCC is planning to potentially bring a busload of students. So it's a great opportunity to connect with some of the students at the other colleges. It's going to be open to students, staff, faculty, a guest, alumni, hoping to have a good time. We'll have the DJ that we had back in the fall, and it'll be fun.
So
And we're wearing Hawaiian shirts.
is it gonna be? I don't own a Hawaiian shirt, so I just thought I'd.
Well, your sister sitting in the corner currently has one. She can borrow hers.
She's enjoying it a little. She's enjoying it a little too much, I think, actually.
Yeah.
But just quick thing, is it hybrid? And is it gonna be like
No, it's a dance party in person. It's gonna be fun, food, music, dancing, party. It'll be a lot of fun.
in
Oh,
the
you know I
self-cap
tried.
again?
What?
In the self-cap again?
Self-cap, yes. So, and then I can even do the next one, save the date for the day after the dance party. CCSLA is running a one-day retreat at QCC in Worcester. So go ahead and put that on your calendars. I should have more information by next week on the details of this, but it's going to be a one-day. You will need to get yourself to Worcester, but once I know who's going to go, it'll include breakfast or a light breakfast, lunch, and a snack, and speakers for the day. So,
Thank you. Any other announcements? All right, cool beans. I'm not gonna keep you all. The next meeting is March 7th. The next SGA meeting. Be there or be square, and I wouldn't be square if I were you. And the next committee meeting is next Tuesday at 4:30. And I call this meeting to adjourn at 6:26 p.m.
Take care, all.
Bye.
Good night.